Estamos.
I don't know, I think we have another tutorial here or what? There is no.
It's a panel.
Okay.
It's a panel.
Thank you all. We're about to start. The online transmission is already available. I would kindly ask you to open your cameras.
Carla. Well, thank you very much to the organizers of CARLA 2022. We are going to begin the panel of cooperation between Latin America and Africa. First of all, I would like to thank our friends in Africa. I know that now is a little late over there. So thank you for being able, a passion to participate. I'm going to make a quick introduction about the people who is joining us from Africa to explain also how is going to be the activity and how we are going to plan these presentations. First of all, I would like to present Professor Maïssa MBAYE, who is Associate Professor of Gaston Berger University of St. Louis in Senegal and Coordinator of the African Center of Excellence in Mathematics, Informatics, and ICT. Maïssa completed his university studies from 2000 to 2004 with applied mathematics and computer science, DUG, a bachelor degree in computer science and a master degree in computer science and at Gaston Berger University. We have also with us Yousef Torman. Yousef Torman, a good friend of RedCLARA, is managing director of the Arab States Research and Education Networks. So thank you very much also, Yousef, for being with us. We have here in presence Carla Osthoff, who is a researcher at National Laboratory for Scientific Computing, LNCC-Brazil. And finally, we have also with us Omo Oaya, who is the Chief Strategy Officer of WACREN, one of the regional research networks in Africa. I want to make a quick introduction. The reason for this panel is that we are working together and we are fostering to increase the cooperation between both continents, between Latin America and Africa, resulting from a new connection that we began to use something like 2 years ago. We signed an agreement with Ubuntu-Net, one of the African entrants, to take advantage of this new connectivity. After that, we have been organizing several activities in cooperation with Africa, since we believe that we have a lot of common challenges, a lot of common needs. And those common needs could be solved better if we can extend and increase the cooperation between us. We in RedCLARA, we are trying to promote the completion of completing the connectivity of Latin America to the rest of the world. One of those goals is related to increasing also connectivity with Africa. We are dreaming to have something similar to Vela, which is a cable that now joins us to the European continent, to have something similar with Africa, which will help all the NREN community or the research networks community to have an additional path for everybody, Africa coming through Latin America to Europe and all the other way. No? We going to Africa and then connecting to Europe. But more important than that is the connection between us. Similar things, we are pursuing similar things in the Cable Humboldt project, which is going to be the panel tomorrow when we are going to talk about the connectivity between Latin America and Asia, and in the framework of the cooperation between HPC communities in Latin America and Asia. Yesterday, we were discussing a lot about how to increase cooperation in many parts of the world. Many people suggested several lines of action between them, exchanging students between our organizations in the region. And I would like to finally, before giving the word to our panelists, to invite you to continue working, to continue increasing our collaboration. You have here in Latin America a friend organization and a lot of people that are interested in working with you and trying to solve the common issues that we have. So thank you very much to all the panelists. And I think the first participant or the first panelist is going to be Dr. Maïssa MBAYE. No? Is right, Anna?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Okay. So let me share my screen. Tell me if you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see the screen.
Okay. So thank you, Luis, for this introduction. And I would like to start by thanking also Berger, who helped us to join this meeting. And we started a collaboration, which we hope will be fruitful with RedCLARA also. So I'm going to make a presentation about federating HPC infrastructure service for African open science communities. So the title is a little bit with some big words, but mainly it is talking about what we are doing related to HPC. My name is Maïssa, and I am the leader of DSTN, and I'm talking on behalf of DSTN and somehow WACREN. So the agenda of my presentation is just, first of all, I will present the context of the GSTN ACE partner, from which we are doing our activities relating to HPC. And I will give an overview of HPC infrastructure inside our network of African Center of Excellences. And I will finish with some activities we are doing and related to HPC. So related to the context, I would like to introduce you the ACE Impact Project. It is a project that has been introduced by the World Bank, and AFD joined the project, and the coordination is assured by AAU, African Association Universities, and the project started at 2014, and the second phase started at 2019, and we have around 11 countries, 54 African centers of excellence, which are some centers that are supposed to develop science and technology in 5 areas: agriculture, STEM, health, environment, applied science, and education. So you have Benin, Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Djibouti, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, and Togo. And upon this African Center of Excellencies, the AFD have introduced a grant to develop a collaboration between the African Centers of Excellence, because the people found out that African universities and African Center of Excellence, they easily collaborate with foreign higher education structures, but among them the collaboration is quite low. And with this fund, we have 4 networks of African Center of Excellence: the DSTN related to digital science and technology, RESO related to water, WANIDA related to health, and RAM2T related to mining and sustainable development. And we have 8 African from out of 11 that are involved in this project, and the project is coordinated by ERD and supported by INRIA scientifically. So the network that will interest us in this presentation is the DSTN, that involve the 4 countries I highlighted: Senegal, Ivory Coast, Benin, and Nigeria. This The Digital Science and Technology Network is composed of centers of excellence, MITIC in Senegal, Oak Park, and Capic Ace, and Capic Ace, and Esetel that are in Nigeria, and we have SMEA in Benin and NCEA in Cote d'Ivoire. And the aims of this network is to collaborate to strengthen research capabilities, strengthen the higher education training and innovation capacities related to or in collaboration with non-academic sectors. And we have six African Center of Excellence, and we have 5 thematic that are treated. We have data collection related to IoT, drones, and surveys, etc. We have data integration, interoperability, modeling, data science, decision support, cybersecurity, and finally we have HPC, which is one of our research thematic in this area. So all the research we are doing in the network, they should help us to tackle or to address development areas, mainly e-health, e-agriculture, digital mining, e-education, smart city, and digital water, and so on. So after saying that, I will come to present the infrastructure that is already available in our network of African Center of Excellence. We have 2 kinds of HPCs. The first one is the HPCs that are managed by ministries or government directly. That's the case in Senegal and in Cote d'Ivoire. And the other kind of HPCs are the ones that are managed by African Center of Excellence. So in Senegal, we have high performance computing, which has about 537 teraflops and distributed 1.2 petabytes of distributed memory and about 8,064 calculation cores. And the overall project is managed by the CNRI, the National Cyber Infrastructure for Higher Education Research. And the ACE I am leading should be able to access to this HPC. And this HPC also aims to develop some training and research program related to artificial intelligence, robotics, big data, cybersecurity, biotechnology, modeling, and numerical simulation. So this is the architecture of this HPC with one node, one SMP node, and 2 Sequana Sequana cells. That is some commercial names of Atos who provide this HPC. And we have also a visualization node. You have on the left the picture of the HPC. So the second one is at Cote d'Ivoire. This one is managed by the Centre National de Calcul de la Côte d'Ivoire, the CNCCI, with 7,200 cores and 322 teraflops, and about more than 300 nodes and 1.6 petabytes of storage. And the architecture of this one also is almost the same as Senegalese one. The difference that here we do not have two Sequana nodes calculus. We have one calculus node and one hybrid that can be SMP and also for calculus. And this one is at Benin is the third one at Benin. At Benin, the African Center of Excellence, SMEA, used the money given by the ACE Impact project to acquire an HPC about 30 nodes and 1,488 cores and about 40 teraflops and 48 terabytes of RAM and storage, 220 terabytes of storage. So the last one we are going to see is the one at Tapik ACE, which is an African Center of Excellence in Nigeria, that is inside our network. In fact, this one aims to store genomic data related to health, more exactly malaria and breast cancer. And they started to have some nodes inside the African Center of Excellence. This is about the amount of calculation or computation power they have. So once we know the infrastructure, we can come to the activities we are driving related to HPC. So the first one we organized was a training about HPC, but this level was intended to administrators, because we noted that some administrators, there are few people that can manage this HPC, and the trainers were Atos, which is the company that provided the HPC for Senegal and Côte d'Ivoire, and we can find in this some modules related to installation and cloud technology. And we planned the second one related to HPC for November to December for about 15 days, if I'm right. And this time the training is intended to people that will use the HPC, mainly researchers and students and so on. So it is about parallel programming and something related to that. So aside that, we organized a regional workshop on high performance computing that we co-organized with WACREN and LibSense, and the aim was to see how we can collaborate, because federating the HPC needs some connectivity, and WACREN was the best organization we could have for this time, the best partner. So the good news is that we are having GMS Africa, which is a member of African Union Commission related to space data, that is interested in this project. So to finish, after this workshop, we have identified some challenges and some steps we need to come up. The first one is governance and regulation, because you see that in some countries the HPC is managed by the ministry, and the other one directly by the university, and if we want to federate this computation power, we need to identify the challenge related to regulation. So also the application and the end users is a challenge, because in Africa we have a lack of data, and data are very sparse. So we need to identify the application area: health, agriculture, education, space, mining, and etc. And the end user and end usage and how we are going to use this power. And the human resources also, we are having some challenge because there are very few people that can program in MPI, OpenMP. So we need to train more people, system admins, engineers, and researchers to use this HPC. And data, so to have a promotional or advocacy for open data and develop some educational resource. And finally, the infrastructure, because we need to learn from other structure that have more power, HPC, and the NREN also have to be developed because some of the countries involved in the network, they have their NREN. Some others have less developed NREN. And we have the NREN, like WACREN, that we need to make our HPCs in network. So thank you very much. That was what I prepared for this presentation. And if there is any question, I will be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor MBAYE. I will now, we will leave the answer and question for the end. I will ask now Yousef for your talk. I will mention that with ASREN, which is the Arabian State Research and Education Network, we are collaborating and working together with a lot of effort and intensity in topics related to climate change. And recently we signed with ASREN, with JANT in Europe, the Katowice Declaration, that is something where we are joining efforts in terms of providing capacities and connectivity to be able to modulate the climate, and also to interconnect the data that we are getting from some satellites, like the Copernicus satellite that have the program, the Copernicus program in Europe. So thank you very much, Yousef, again, for being with us, and please go ahead with your talk.
Yeah, thank you, my brother and my friend and my colleagues in Latin America and everywhere. Let me first, again, I think I need to, first of all, to thank you and to comment on Maïssa's presentation. I congratulate you, Maïssa, and also WACREN, because you have efforts that are worth applauding, and actually you did an excellent job, which we are not doing so far. So ASREN maybe is, we are now joining the club rather than contributing. So let me first, and the second thing for our cooperation with RedCLARA and Latin America is the La Referencia also. We have signed another agreement to adopt the La Referencia in our region. So I think the cooperation is going good, and we are taking it further. Now back to the HPC issue. I think very quickly, as I don't have presentation slides because I did not have the time to prepare them, but to go over the issue. ASREN is the Regional Research and Education Network for the Arab region. So Arab region comes into two continents, the Asia and Africa. So we work for Africa and also work for the rest of the Arab region on the other side. For Africa, we are part of the region of the Continental Regional Research and Education Networks, OpenTunet Alliance, and also WACREN. So we work together very closely, especially that we have common needs, and we have also a continental project with the Europe Africa Connect 3. Which is instrumental for us to go further, and maybe we can include something related to HPC activities in the future. For HPC, ASREN has not been involved in any HPC activities because we have started with infrastructure, we started with connectivity and so on. And now we are in the process of having more services and more outreach to and engage with the user communities and so on. And we have, let me go first with what have been around our region in terms of HPC, especially that before the creation of ASREN, there was a project called Link Scheme, which is a computational resources for East Mediterranean. ASREN was not part of it, linking the supercomputing resources in the region, in the Mediterranean. However, the project was successful. Unfortunately, it was a 2 years project, and usually I always comment on the FP7 and the Horizon project that when they are completed and concluded, there is no continuity. So the project was very good in terms of bringing HPC resources together and facilitate access to these resources. And but unfortunately, the project is over and the service not available except for the Cytera facility, which is in Cyprus. There are other efforts from CERN. Actually, CERN has contributed to our region in providing some clusters, some HPC clusters to Morocco, Algeria, Lebanon, and Jordan. And now I can summarize that there are some also efforts in terms of HPC, even deploying HPC in Tunisia, in Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and also in what is it? In Egypt again, because they are upgrading their infrastructure and so on. Now, for ASREN, we realized that we need to be engaged we used to be promoter for HPCs, but we not being engaged. But when we have recently, under the Africa Connect 3, we have conducted a survey at the beginning of Africa Connect 3 to identify the needs of the communities and so on. And we realized that one of the main requirements and needs is the HPCs. So from there, we started our efforts and we tried to retrieve what has been done in Sesame in the Link Scheme project, which I have just mentioned. And we approached Sesame, which was one of the, Sesame is a light source facility in Jordan for all Middle East and Mediterranean. So we start discussing with them how we can bring again the effort of that they have experience in that, but it seems that also the people who were involved are out of no longer. So it's about how we can start. So I think I conclude my intervention here that we are ready to cooperate and to identify activities and the resources in our region. As Luis, you said that you have people that are willing to help. So we are actually at this stage we are asking for help. We have many HPC resources in our region, in many of our countries. But I said they are not connected. We need to have a layer of cooperation and facilitate this, as Maïssa said, training, infrastructure, and so on. And we are ready to start and join the club. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Yousef. Many thanks for your talk. I will now let the floor to Carla Osthoff, who is here in presence in the panel. Please, Carla.
But I would like to share the screen before, so Tanya needs to give me the permission.
Tanya, please. Thank you. Do you need the phone, the microphone?
Okay. Yes. Thank you for the invitation. So I would like to introduce myself. I'm Carla. I do research in the National Lab from Brazil. And also I'm the coordinator from the Processing Center of LNCC. So first I would like to introduce LNCC. And so we are a national lab for scientific computing. We are a research institute from the Brazilian Ministry of Science and Technology and Information. So we have two main missions. The first one is to develop scientific computing, research, and human resources. And the second one is to provide high-performance resources to foster scientific community and industry knowledge. So for those who do not know, we are located in Rio de Janeiro, close to Rio de Janeiro metropolis, which is 100 kilometers from Rio de Janeiro. And from the part of human resources in scientific computing, we are proud to say that we do have a graduate program that now has the highest level, highest rate from the Brazilian agency. Also,
you need to open your camera because we are not seeing you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I will open my camera. Sorry. So we do have a graduate program that does research, and we are now very proud about that we reached the highest level from the Brazilian agencies. And from the second mission, we provide on-demand HPC service to Brazilian academy and industry. So therefore, we in LNCC runs the National Center for High Performance Computing. And the national centers from the Ministry of Science and Technology does provide lots of high performance centers, mostly of them on federal universities. We have one here close in Woods with nearby this building. And we have the biggest center is in LNCC, which is the research institute from the ministry. So LNCC has the most powerful machine. We have a 5 petawatt machine. So this is the institute, and the yellow hat is a petawatt machine because Santos Dumont, which is the father of the aviation, lives in Petropolis. That's the main reason. And this is the 5 petawatt machine. So this machine is heterogeneous. We have lots of different architectures. The nodes, they have lots of different architectures, and this is very important because the machine is for the research community, and we have to be able to provide all kinds of architectures for the community. And also, the supercomputer not only have different a huge quantity of nodes, powerful nodes, we also have to have high performance network and high performance I/O system in order to really make the system be powerful. This is the team, my team, which I coordinate, and we do help users to use the system. So we provide a high performance summer school every year. Since now it's going to make like 10 years that we have been running the summer school, and the next edition will be in January. And I would like to say that's going to be online, so anyone can really participate in the summer school. And the summer school also have lots of trainings from our from Atos and from NVIDIA and from Mellanox, from lots of suppliers that offers programming in the system. So I would like to mention here that our group not only does training, but we also help users for research. So we can divide our research in 3 main areas. One area is the area for high performance computing. We help the users to make their applications to run faster in a specific architecture of the system. And the other field of research we do is to analyze how the infrastructure of the system is running. So we have a strong collaboration with URGS that Professor Nago is not here, but we have been doing lots of research on how to evaluate how the system is behaving and how it's being able to support all the users that have been running the machine. This is the second field of research we do. And the third one is we have a strong collaboration with the bioinformatics group in Brazil, and we are making lots of research to make to help to have a portal, I mean, an ambience for the users to start using the machine in a user-friendly way and a very efficient way. We also do a lot of research on is that for now, I'm mute. Okay. So it's important to say that I think there is two captions of two captions. Okay. No, we have just one. Okay, you're still okay. So, so this is I just presented to you the kind of research we do in the national lab from Brazil. And what we find out is that the Brazilian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has a Brazilian cooperation agency that does support technical cooperation between Brazil and Africa. And up to now, we have already 6 main collaborations, technical collaborations between countries in Africa and countries in Brazil. But if we take a look to the collaborations, so we can see that mostly of them are related with research in agriculture, transfer of technology, of agricultural technology from Brazil to Africa, mostly of them. But we have this open possibility in order to implement technical cooperation between, for instance, supercomputers, for instance, HPC. And so what I would like to tell is that from my director, from LNCC director point of view, he just would like to mention for the people from Africa is that for now, we do not need to have this technical collaboration. This technical will be important to have more deeply work between the two Brazilian. I'm talking about Brazilian side. I cannot talk about the rest of the other South American countries, but from Brazilian side, we have the possibility to use technical cooperation for more deep work between the countries. But for now, Africans research institutes, they can use Santos Dumont the same way that all Latin America countries, they can use. That means that if there is a researcher that has a collaboration with a Brazilian researcher from a Brazilian institute, they can apply for a project to use Santos Dumont. And it's important to tell Santos Dumont is you don't have to pay to use the system. Santos Dumont is from the Ministry of Science of Technology and is for free for research. This is important to tell. So now all the more details you can find on the page of Santos Dumont. So one last thing I would like to say before I finish is that if you go to United States exemplar program, you're going to see that they separate the main research in supercomputing area, in HPC area, the same way you can find this same kind of division in many countries like Japan, China, that really are at the top of research of technology. They do research, they do divide the research in 4 main areas. The area of application, area of software technology, hardware technology, and exascale system. One important thing is that having supercomputer like Santos Dumont with 5 petaflops machine, that is part of the top 500 machines, is that the users, the projects that are running in Santos Dumont, they are able to produce technology that are part of application development and software technology from these two main fields of research that can compete in the highest technology that we are having right now. This is this is why for me it's very important to have access to a supercomputing machine, is that the projects they can really produce high level prediction. And now the last slide is I'm just gonna, it's not from official, but it's my opinion. I hope one day Latin America and Africa will be able to be inspired in what Europe does. Europe got together, all the countries from Europe, they got together and they had a project that, which is in Barcelona Supercomputer Center, a project that is able to do top research in all the 4 areas of all the main areas of technologies. So you have many countries getting together to produce a technology and to make those countries to have access to this technology. This now is a personal wish. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Now I think you can hear me. Well, thank you very much to all the panelists. I'm going to go to the questions. At the end, Omo, I would like to ask you also to close with any comment that maybe you can give us about the next steps that maybe we can do in terms of these cooperations. I have a first question. Let me go over here. 1 second.
I think there is a question.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Let's go. But you need to talk. You need to talk here. Yeah, please.
Thank you. My name is Nikhila Tao from MSc Montreal, and I'm very delighted to be here, and thank you for this presentation. Something that I see as a successful story is collaboration, like the one that, for example, the URIC Supercomputer Center has with, if I'm not wrong, Puerto Rico. I'm missing that. Costa Rica, yes. That is a very successful case. And if I look at the United States, for example, the National Science Foundation has collaboration with a country like Japan, in which there is an identity as part of the project, in which the National Science Foundation supports scientists in the United States, and the Japan government supports Japanese scientists. The point of contact is that there is a possibility to travel, to meet, to work together for short periods on site. And so my wish would be that there are more of these collaborations, that also, for example, at the level of the United States, the National Science Foundation create opportunity for collaboration with South America, with Africa, in which, again, the individual governments are responsible for their institutions, but then there is a possibility to work together, and the success requires 2 collaborations, like in we mentioned 2 of these cases. I don't know if they are in place, this type of collaboration, or perhaps there is the willingness to push and create awareness at the level of our national science foundations in our country, so that this kind of solicitation are put in place.
from Brazil side, what we have improved a lot is the BRICS collaboration. But this is a collaboration between countries, not continents. So we have a strong collaboration, Brazil, South America, Russia, and China. So, but this is sponsored, it's from countries. So, I wish we could have more continental collaborations, like Europe has. Europe in Barcelona has. You have the European community that does the collaboration. Risk2 project is a European collaboration. So it's a very interesting solution.
But the European community is also a business reality in which states are part of an economic platform, which is quite different than South America or the African continent. So there are two steps probably formed at the level of financial model that they use, which require every state in Europe that is part of the EU to contribute. As a matter of fact, UK went out and now they, I won't say trouble, but they are out of that model. You see, the model in which are not inside this financial model in which there is a parliament and there is then become challenging. I think that starting at the level of states and creating role models between two states, it's already a very good strong point.
But we do have already between countries. We have many collaborations.
I don't see that in the United States. It would be nice to have that as well.
We are just a quick just to comment to our panelists in Africa because I am not sure if they listen well the question. It was about how to engage in those cooperation, exchanging students and those kind of things. If we have not in the region something similar to the European Commission and how we can do something that goes beyond the country-to-country agreements. So maybe I would like to comment about that because we have also regional organizations like ESCALAC or like RedCLARA that can function, if not as a community, an economical community, can function as a project community. And I think one of the most important things of this talking and of this panel is that we can engage in novel forms of collaborating using the resources that we have. It's very important, and I am very grateful for the comment that Carla made about the open intention of Brazil and in particular of LNCC in order to support LNCC in order to support and help probably with capacity if there is any collaboration with any African country. And we will work together in order to contribute with the idea of having a common approach for this in Latin America. One very important point is that we are also working together in order to federate the access to the supercomputing centers that are in Latin America. In the case of RedCLARA, RedCLARA has connectivity with almost all the countries where we have a good capacity in terms of power of computing in HPC centers. And this model could be extended also to other continents. We have a good connection between Africa and Latin America. So working together in order to have one biggest ecosystem of HPC facilities could be very, very helpful. And the other point I would like to mention is that the point that many of you mentioned, the need of training and the idea that we have also several activities oriented to training people that could be open to a collaboration with any African country. And I think that if we continue this conversation in a more frequent way, probably we will find ways to move ahead and to strengthen the capacities in Africa and Latin America. I would like to mention very quickly another question that is for the three panelists in Africa. The question is, in your own words and considering the perspective of your own regional networks, what is today the real relevance of South collaboration in our environment? If you have any comment about that, please go ahead.
Maybe I can give my, Omo is here. Omo, I let you.
I was actually going to defer to you, but thank you very much, Luis, for this panel and for this question. So I will just sort of add to Maïssa's presentation from the Regional Research Network perspective. So, so I think Maïssa has told you that we're partnering with the African Centers of Excellence, looking to do exactly what you're doing, which is federate the capacity that the high-performance computers provide. So the first thing we're doing as a research network is looking to interconnect them with our network. So some of the challenges, when we also want to, when you talk about what do we benefit from South-South collaborations. So yes, we are undoubtedly, the new kids on the block, but we want to be able to exchange in terms of experiences. We have sort of picked up skills in making things work in constrained environments. If nothing else, that's an attribute we now currently have. But in federating these HPCs, there's really no need to go on it alone. And in, like you mentioned, in other areas, we already have collaborations. We tend to think, maybe not in this particular case, but there are so many commonalities in our region. Sometimes the context might be slightly different or language might be different, but it's a closer context than it is with our other partners, sometimes in Europe or elsewhere. So that's one thing we want to explore. On the other side, from the cable point of view, from your Bella, your participation in the Bella project, we now have a scenario where we can actually connect directly to Latin America or to RedCLARA through Angola. Now, what that provides is opportunity for further collaboration where we actually have dedicated links between our networks. So what I'm looking forward to this discussion evolving, and on the basis of its evolution, so I think we should be able to take out some time, establish some objectives at the beginning, but then we should look at these commonalities and how we exploit them to its maximum. So that's my primary interest. And I'm really glad to listen to all the panelists, and I'm looking forward to see this relationship evolve.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other question here in the auditorium, or maybe any comment of the panel?
Maybe I wanted to give a comment on how to engage this cooperation beyond the country-to-country agreement. This question is very relevant because most of the time, when people sign the agreement, everybody is happy, but nothing follows. But what we experimented here is that if you can find some grants for PhD student or master thesis inside a cooperation between two researchers from the two countries, that is a stable relationship because you have a student that will work in a quite long period, and that can strengthen this collaboration. We have not invented, thanks to INRIA who helped us to design this kind of relationship. And in our networks, the DSTN network, to make people collaborate really, we set some research team, what we call research team, in which we have 1 or 2 PhD grants, and between 2 two supervisors from 2 African Centers of Excellence. That means these 2 persons will be together for 3 years. I think if you are with somebody 3 years and work with this one, the collaboration will be very stable in the time. That's how we build some quite good animation on that. So thank you. That was the comment I was wanting to make.
Yeah, let me give the word to Carla. One second.
I just would like to add a comment because I should have put a slide about that we have the Ministry of.
You are 1 second. You are on mute. I'm going to mute myself.
It's just to tell that we have a program for graduate programs. We do have, for instance, in our universities of Brazil, and even in my institute, we have students from Latin America we offer fellowship for them. And we can, so something I should have put in my slides, something I can do later on, is the link, how a student can apply for any university in Brazil, any program, and have a support from the Brazilian government. We do have that already. So this, as you said, could be a start of the beginning of a collaboration.
I think that's very interesting, Luis. So it means that, even if we have humble beginnings, we can do it at different levels. So we can do it at the level of the research network and providing some connectivity between our different infrastructures. We can also do it at the human level, where we're building some capacity and using the opportunity to sort of do the exchange. And I think within that context, we can start to look for thematic areas of mutual interest to sort of work in. So for me, the ingredients to start this relationship, or to further, I'm sure there are already existing, interactions between Latin America and Africa. They might not be formalized in the way we're suggesting. So by just formalizing a new class sort of scenario, we will be able to attract any existing interactions into this. So I'm looking forward to it.
Wonderful, Omo. I think it's very important that we can continue this work together. And one of the things I would like to suggest to ESCALAC, which is a Latin American supercomputing organization that is, have all those HPC centers in the region, is to try to keep a frequent meeting with you. And probably, because we are planning to have monthly board meetings, maybe invite you in some of them in order to be able to create a plan and work together in something that could be doable in a reasonable time. No? Maybe planning for 1 year and doing baby steps, but beginning to build something that in the future could give us much more human capital for both continents, and also more knowledge and more integration between us. So I am committed to promote this. I will be proposing this in our board, and probably we will be going back to you in order to invite you in some way to this ongoing conversation for next steps.
I
don't know if
for ASREN, I think I'm just following what commending what and seconding what Omo said. So we are there, and we are starting and following also. Thank you.
Wonderful. I don't know if there is any other question here in the audience. Are you going to? Okay. Well, thank you very much. I hope now you can get some rest. I imagine that some of you are almost ready to go to bed. So thank you very much for your participation, and well, we will be in contact soon to continue with this work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to everybody.